Right, so we've been out foraging today and we have collected some blackberries and some rose hips, and we're still really early in the season for both. We're at the beginning of autumn. You can collect both of these pretty much throughout the whole season, up until about, up here in the north and anyway, up until about middle of October. But what we're going to do with these is, first job with the blackberries is we're going to make some jam. We collected about 3 kilos worth, so half of it is going to make pies and crumbles and the other half is going to make jam. So that's the first lot I've got steep in there. The rose hips, we're going to make rose hip syrup. It's great to have in the winter because these are really high in vitamin C, so when you're absolutely loaded with cold, these are a great natural way of getting some energy. One of these has more vitamin C than an orange, and it's absolutely delicious. The first time I tried them, we made tea with them and they're just fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So I've been waiting all year for these to come. But also collected some apples. We've got a bucket of those to go with the blackberries for crumbles and pies. But before you start eating the blackberries, and you've got to be brave by the way, you get covered with scratches, is you need to soak them. Make sure there's no maggots or any nasties in there before you use them. So once they've soaked for a bit, we'll come back and we'll move on to the next step. Right, so the blackberries have been washed. We'll add them into the pan now. Along with a dribble of water. And I'm going to bring this to the boil. So as soon as there's some heat in that, we'll be back. While that's coming to the boil, we're going to start prepping with rose hips. And what you basically want to do with these is you want to top and tail them to start with. Sure there's nothing on either side. Quite a few to do, so we'll come back when I've got a few more. Right, we've got some heat going in this now, so I'm going to turn the temperature down to medium, let it simmer down a bit, and then once some of the liquid's simmered down, we'll add the sugar and the pectin. Right, that's going nicely now, so give it a good mash. Now let it simmer down a touch more, and then we'll add the sugar and the pectin. Right, there we go, that's all the rose hips topped and tailed. So what we need to do now, and this is quite an important step, is we need to get rid of all the seeds that's in the middle. And you want to get rid of all of them, and because they're covered in little hairs, and those little hairs can be a really big irritant to your stomach. So you need to make sure that you get rid of every single little piece. Now I know this seems like a right faff, but trust us, rose hip is worth it. All you want to be left with is the flesh, which is that there. Do this bit very carefully. I can't stress that enough. You don't want any of the little hairs of the seeds left on the flesh. Right, so I'll crack on and we'll come back in a bit. Right, that's simmered down nicely now, so we're going to add the sugar and the pectin. I've already mixed the pectin into the sugar so it doesn't end up lumpy. Pour that in. Give it a good mix. And then what we want to do is we want to simmer this until the sugar's dissolved, so just over a low heat. And then once all the sugar's dissolved, then we're going to bring it to a rolling boil. Right, leave that to simmer for about 5 minutes. There we go, that's the sugar all dissolved. So now we're going to turn the heat up. We want it on a rolling boil for a good 10 minutes or until it reaches its setting point. For in 10 minutes we'll come back and we'll test it. Right, so the buzzer's just gone off and I've just double checked it, and all you do is you've got a cold plate which has either been in the fridge or freezer, put a dribble on it, and if it sets, if you can run your finger through it and it doesn't move, then you're good to go. So we've had the jars sterilising in there. Right, so I was saying, the jars are in there. I'll just pop the tongs in as well. We'll also leave a funnel. And we're simply going to ladle into the jar. As usual, lid straight on. There we go. 4 jars of blackberry jam. Okay, so I finally finished chopping all the rose hips up. One important lesson I've learned is make sure that your fruit is quite firm, because on the firm ones it was pretty easy to get the seeds out, but on the softer ones it really wasn't. So I know for next time. So what I'm going to do now is, now they've been de-seeded, might still be the odd one left, but I got 99% of them, and we're going to put this through a muslin bagging anyway, just to double make sure. But for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to chop the fruit up, removing any seeds if I spot them. Give it a quick chop. Cut the seeds there. That should do it. So the next thing I'm going to do is just move this fruit into a heavy pan. Right, there we go. That's then roughly chopped in the pan. I'm now going to add 800 millilitres of cold water. So that's peeled and chopped. That was about 500 grams of rose hips, and 800 ml of water, which we're now going to bring to the boil. Right, that's now boiled away nicely, so we're going to turn the heat down and we're going to leave it to simmer for about 15 minutes. And there we go, that's been simmering for 15 minutes. So the next thing I'm going to do is give it over on short. And what we're going to do now is we're going to sieve it through a sieve and a doubled up muslin to get anything out. About any bit of the time. Now a minute. and the muslin's not that big. There we go. I'm going to let that sit and drain through. I'll give it about 15 minutes and come back and check on it. Right, there we go. I've got that all strained through. I've really pushed it through as well. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to empty the muslin bag. I'm going to wash it through and we're going to do it again. This time I'm going to strain it into the measuring jug so we know exactly how much we've got, so we can see how much sugar to add. There we go, all strained through, and I've got about 500ml there. That's about half a pint. No, a pint, which is, yes, 500ml, thereabouts. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add that back to the pan, the clean pan, and I know because there's about 500ml, I need about 300 grams of sugar. So we'll get that in the pan, get the heat on. Slowly out. About 300 grams of sugar. Sugar in, simmer it. Once the sugar's dissolved, we're going to bring it to the boil and we're going to let it boil for about 3 minutes. And once it's done that, we're going to decant it into the bottle. About 500ml should be about perfect for the bottle I've got, which was just the same one I used for the ketchup as well. Get the sugar in that. Until the sugar's dissolved. And then we'll get it boiling. And we'll get it bottled. Right, that's having a good old boil now. There's a minute left on the timer. Yeah. 3 minutes. So now we're just going to pour this. Let's just move the camera so you can see. Pour that into there without getting it everywhere, hopefully. There you go. 1 bottle of rosehip syrup, which is delicious over pancakes, or you can use to make teas when you're feeling unwell. Marvellous stuff. A bit of a faff to get it up to this point, but well worth it in the end.